then you're going to go in. And it's a little tender, and he's a little spasming there. And what you're going to feel is you're going to feel the transverse process of the vertebra. That little hard bump is the transverse process. I forgot what lumbar it is.
How do you feel, Joe?
So what you do is use a little of the wax stuff, very little, work it a little bit of massage. You can go up and down a little bit. Remember, it is very tender. So what you do is you combine the iliacus, psoas, and the quadratus lumborum. Posture, I can't even tell you how much in back pain these postural muscles get in the way. And if you pay attention to them, don't ignore them. You know, we are always rubbing around somewhere waiting, where's that spasming pain? But it's deep, it's quadratus, it's psoas. Right in there. So you come off of the paraspinals, and you sink in right there, right underneath. You're going right underneath. Go ahead and try that. Remember to lift the belly. Do with the wax stuff works good, and lots of scrubbing. It's basically cross friction, but you're stabilizing and working. Lots of cross friction, both below and above the crest of the pelvis. The other trigger point that's most common is a piriformis. And you know, you'll find people that are just have piriformis problems. There's piriformis syndrome, it's a big deal. So the easiest way to find that is the hollow, soft part of the cheek, and just don't get stopped by the bone. It's right there.
Okay.
Now, you've seen the elbow and stuff like that. The problem with the elbow is it isn't sensitive, and my elbow is bigger and some elbows are smaller. So I don't know what I'm going there, and I'm not sure I want to be that close. So what I use is several fingers, and just you find the hollow in the soft spot. And remember, and it's right there, and you're just going to work it like you work any other muscle. You're going to put some pressure on. You can shorten it a little bit if you want, but then you have to harder to hold up the leg, and you just work it a little bit. So I'd make sure I work that, and I always, if it's low back pain here to here, I always hit the piriformis, make sure it's okay, and then I follow up with a piriformis stretch. So go ahead and turn over for me, Chris. And the piriformis, you've seen the one where this leg comes up and this leg goes over, and you reach and grab this leg with both hands. Go around this way. Nope, in the, and that goes right there. Bring this hand over on this leg. Turn it over. There you go. You can see why I don't like it. Okay. Thank you. Go relax. I don't like that stretch. It's just awkward. The easiest way is to get right up on the table to show them and take the leg into external rotation. Have you put your hand behind this knee and hold your ankle with that one behind the ankle, bottom side. And so we're just going to go up, and then once you go up with a little bit of a little more external rotation, I'm going to have them focus the stretch by going side to side. Little pressure there until you say, I want you to feel the stretch right here. And it's right about where, feel that stretch there? Yeah. I like that one much better than the other one. So what I want you to try is try a little glute, a little careful when you do this one. Don't go in there and just crank, or you'll send the person to the hospital. The other thing that I would do before I release sinuses, I would probably either do an occipital release, just because it opens up the head and the neck, and or a face massage. And when you get to the face massage, you can even do a little bit of extra pressure on the sinuses. And the sinuses are, you see at the kind of the medial side of the zygomatic arch, there's kind of like marbles right there under your fingers. Those are the lower sinuses. The upper ones are underneath the eyebrow. And you can feel, again, it feels like a marble. So those are the two sinuses, a little bit of pressure. What also helps before I do this, and you don't get paid for this, so we don't get paid for working on sinuses, so it's almost something you teach and send them home. But if they do a hot and cold pack, not too hot, so just a warm washcloth and a cold pack, and they go back and forth about 2 or 3 minutes for the heat, 30 seconds or so of ice, and back and forth 3 or 4 times. And just that heat and the heat and the cold help open up the sinuses. The other thing that works is spicy food. Spicy food is great for opening sinuses. That's why, like when you're sick, you get chicken noodle soup with lots of pepper.
Kimchi.
Kimchi is great. Kimchi soup, kimchi gook, oh my God, it's great for a cold. But this technique is a mobilization. So what you want to do is you're going to grab the person's forehead, and you're going to find where on their nose you can feel it. See, there's this cartilage part of his nose. There's the bony nasal. Those are the nasal bones. And so you have to be very careful. There's the junction, and you'll feel that little ridge of the junction between the cartilage and the bones. So you're not down on the cartilage. You're up on the bones, right underneath the eyebrow. And what the pressure is, very gently, is this. And you go very slow. So I'm going to put pressure with my top hand towards me, my bottom hand towards you. Hold it 3 to 5 seconds. And then the other way. 3 to 5 seconds. Make sure you have washed all the onions off your hands. Then I'm going to go towards you again with the bottom hand. 3 to 5 seconds. Towards me, 3 to 5 seconds. Towards you, and I'd probably go back and forth about 8 or 10 times. So I know you can't quite see my pressure, but again, it's this way. It's a counter to the other. It's a shear force.
So you move the top hand.
I'm actually not moving as much as I'm stabilizing. Both hands are really stabilizing. Eventually, you may feel a little movement on the nasal bones, but again, this is very gentle. I'd say moderately light pressure. And when you're done, then you have your person sit up, and within a minute or 2, they should start draining into their back of their throat with all the mucus and things like that.
Bring a bucket.
Can you breathe better?
Yeah.
Okay. From the back of the leg, depending on if you're working on quads. Quad strains are common. And then you just want to get in there and just start working them. You can do the kneading. You can do the forearm strokes. You can do the forearm where you're a little more loamy-like. Make sure you get what muscle is right there on the medial side and medial front.
That's
What is
just
that? VMO, right? Vast medialis. So make sure you get the VMO. If you're really going to work tibial or IT band, you can put the person on the side, works better. But you know, if you want to catch the IT band in this position,
That's exactly what I
always got one.
There it is.
So yeah,
There's one in the calves that we did.
right there.
There's a pressure that we did.
But if I'm going to do a lot of IT band work, I'm going to put it on his side. It's just easier body mechanics.
Last one.
When you get down to the knee, you can do the margins of the knee. You can do a little move of the patella. Lee will probably show you that. So you can do, everybody listen, you can do medial lateral moves. You can do anterior distal proximal moves. Like that. You can do a little bit the margins of the joint space. Although if you're really going to work on that, then you want somebody that's sitting. Now when you go down to the calf, there's not much you can do by the front. The really only muscle you can catch is which one? Anterior tip, right, or tibialis anterior. And that tends to get sore. People get trigger points in there, oh yeah. Oh. So he's got some good ones there. Really good. So again, quads in this position, you can catch a little bit medial and lateral. Probably the biggest thing would be the anterior tib, quads and anterior tib. So let's have you roll over on your belly then. This is a good position for, of course, for hamstrings. You may want to get up and work the origin of the hamstrings, which is where ischium, right. So whether you bear him to do that or whether you use your thumbs and work around that ischium, you do want to get proximal hamstrings. As you come down to more distal, the hamstrings are going to split out from the ischium side to side. You can work those. He's got some trigger points there too. You can do forearm strokes, both sides, front and back. Be careful at the popliteal space. There's no support there, and it's dangerous to push too hard. And scoot down towards me just an inch there. Now the calf is real important. We've done the myofascial strokes. Remember the raking with the hand?
Where's the pressure point of that one?
Oh, they're all over here. Oh, he's got. Ooh, ouch.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I laughed at the man.
So both lateral and medial. Remember the heads of the gastroc come down from there, so you can work the origin.
Saw that coming.
Ouch. As you come down, remember it turns into the Achilles tendon. Working that margin between the muscle and the tendon is a good spot. You want to get a little gentler as you get down into the, on either side of the tendon. So again, strokes that work good, the kneading strokes, the ringing strokes, the forearm strokes, the trigger point strokes, and of course you can always add some effleurage with that and different kneading techniques. So that was really quick. I'm going to have you do that and go for it.